Well, Harley Bird, who voices Peppa, and Morwenna Banks, who voices Mummy Pig, are with us now. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
So do you find yourself chatting away in a sort of semi-public place and people turning around and going, oh, I know that voice, and thinking of you as Peppa and Mummy Pig?
Not really for me, because for Peppa has to be... She has got to have a 4-year-old's voice.
Yeah.
So my normal voice,
You're slightly
like
older now, aren't you?
How old were you when you started?
5. Yes, I've been doing it for 10 years.
Because you were the third person to be Peppa,
Yes.
weren't you? So there was Lily, Snowdon 5 first of all, and Cecily Bloom, who was the second person, and
Yeah.
you were the third person. So I assumed that there is a vocal lifespan to this. So as you get... You're 15 now, are you?
Yes.
So as you get older, is it harder and harder to achieve that original voice?
Not really. I can kind of switch from the two now, so...
You know what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, we have to hear it.
Yeah.
OK. Hello, I'm Peppa Pig. George, if you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's just amazing.
So warm, though, as well. It's such a lovely voice. Now, you could keep that going for ages, couldn't you?
I think so, hopefully.
Yes. And then
Well, yeah, absolutely, hopefully.
That's right.
And
Mummy
you were
Pig.
quite sceptical at first, weren't you, when the creators came to you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, Mark and Neville, who created Peppa Pig, I'd worked with them before. They're animators, they're fantastic animators. And we'd made this film called Jolly Roger, which was Oscar-nominated, sort of do some voices for this animatic, and they showed me a picture of Peppa, and I just thought, that is never going to work. Who's going to go for that? It's a pig in a dress.
Right,
So I'm really good to come to for advice on any new projects you've got.
It's so huge. I mean, any parent has you on in their house probably every day.
Yeah, I mean, I get that quite a bit from my teachers. They say it's enough having you at school, but you can't start coming into my house because they're just hearing me everywhere.
Yeah.
So you were how old when you auditioned for the first time?
5.
5 years old. There'd been 2 actresses who'd done it before,
Yes.
and then it was your turn.
And there was me, yeah.
Yeah. Did you even know what you were getting yourself into?
I had no idea. Because at the start, Peppa, it wasn't really a big thing. I mean, no one, even the people who created Peppa, never knew it was going to be such a big thing.
Yeah.
And also for you, I mean, at the age of 5, I imagine you couldn't really read the scripts you were given
No,
then.
I couldn't. So, Peppa, they used to read the lines out to me, and I used to have to copy them back. And I mean, I've kind of got used to that now. So now in the studios, I'll read the lines, but also there'll be the guys over the other side who'll tell me how to do them different ways.
Well, now you're 16 now, aren't you?
Yes.
So, do you obviously a woman with her own mind. So, do you go in there and say, actually, I think Peppa would say it like this?
Yes, obviously, because I've done Peppa for 11 years now, which is quite a while.
It's a long time.
I really understand the character. I know how she speaks, how she would do things, how she would react.
Yeah.
So
Do they have to remind you and say, yeah, OK, we know you know her well, but, you know, you have to put your mind into a 4-year-old pig?
sometimes, yeah, I mean, because obviously I have to change voices from being 16-year-old normal girl to being a 4-year-old pig.
Well, you're lucky you can still do it, because you'd have thought from the age of 5 that your voice would have matured and changed, but yet you can still put that same voice on.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I've just managed to keep it the same throughout. I mean, obviously, it's kind of matured a bit, but, I mean, you kind of have to just act through it.
Do people recognise you? Do children recognise you when you're walking around and then they hear you speak?
I don't get recognised when I'm kind of walking around, but sometimes if I'm speaking, like, it's happened at Starbucks, if I'm just speaking and they're like...
Recognise that voice.
Or if you snort, then suddenly...
Yes, yeah, I do that round Peppa Pig World. Because I went with my brother and my mum the other weekend, and I mean, I was on the dinosaur ride, which is my favourite ride at the moment.
Yeah,
but,
we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, so I was on the rides with my brother, and everyone was kind of giving me slightly odd looks, being, why is there a 16-year-old riding a dinosaur? And so just going around the park, me and my brother were just kind of snorting, doing some lines. And
so do you do it to think, right, OK, I'm going to do
And
this, and
they'll
let's
know.
see how long
Yeah.
it takes them to click?
sometimes...
It's the giggle as well.
Yes.
Can you just switch that on?
Yes.
Can you just switch that on now?
So
It's the
So
snort
good.
as well.
Yeah.
So good.
And you mentioned the rides because there are 2 new rides. It's so on the 16th of May.
Yeah,
there are going to be
16th
2
of
new
May.
rides. It's extended. Peppa Pig's
Yeah, it's the first time, because obviously Peppa was made quite a few years ago, but this is Peppa World. But they've just got 2 new rides, and it's the first time they've kind of expanded the park, and the rides are bigger than before, and they look amazing. I mean, as I said, I went and saw them, and so there's the Queen's Flying Coach ride,
Yeah.
which looks amazing. It's a monorail. I think that's how you say it, but it just goes round the park, and it's really cool.
And there's also Grampy Rabbit's sailing club
and
as
it's
well.
the
you go to
new
islands.
water ride.
Is it?
Yeah, which is really exciting.
It is brilliant. I mean, I've been with the kids and they absolutely love it. So
And
I
you
can't wait
can't go
try
to
new
the,
ones.
I mean, it's a bit of juggling because you've got to juggle your life with GCSEs.
Yes, I've got all my GCSEs coming up.
Pigs doing GCSEs.
Yeah.
What makes me laugh, actually, is that now Peppa Pig has got to a festival before you have.
So true. But I'm going to Coachella in 4 days.
In California.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're
Super
following
excited.
hot off the heels of Peppa Pig when it comes to
yes.
festivals. What's great about this, and it's actually being sold quite cleverly as an introduction to the cinema for very young children.
Yeah, it's the Peppa Pig cinema experience, and we went to a screening of it, at which there were lots of parents invited, lots of little kids. And what was brilliant about it, because I remember taking my kids when they were little to cinema, just kind of constantly, sorry, I've just got to go out,
totally.
constantly just
Nothing
food
worse.
in their mouths the whole time so they didn't scream. But this it's actively encouraged, is that small kids go and they can run around and kind of get involved. And
We were talking before, there was a big difference. There were some kids who were kind of running up and down the aisles,
So
going
sweet.
to the screen, like jumping, just really getting involved.
And you were sat
quite
next to a little...
interactive.
Yeah, it's really interactive.
Yeah.
You were
I
next
was
to a
sat
little
with a
one.
baby who just wasn't even blinking, like so focused on the
Mesmerised
film.
by I mean, there is something about
Crazy.
Peppa, there really is. So this is 10 5-minute stories, if you like, and they're all interlinked with kind of these moments of where you can sing and you can interact.
Yeah.
So it really keeps these children entertained, and it's not too long.
No, exactly. It's kind of seeing how long the children could last, and we were really thrilled actually that they did, because as soon as they sort of run around and then another episode comes on and then they watch it and then they're singing and dancing and they're sort of children are on singing songs and encouraging the little ones to get involved, and it's really sweet.
It must be
actually.
lovely for you guys to watch something like that and to see the reaction. It's all, so you know because you've been doing it for sort of years and years, 15 years. But to sit there and see something, you've sat in a voiceover booth and then think, right, OK, this is the reaction.
It's exactly right, because we actually don't get to see each other very often. I
We
didn't get to
see each
my
other
daughter.
once a year.
Once a year, see my
For
husband.
Polton's Park.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen my husband about 5 times, which is recipe for a perfect marriage, obviously. But yeah, so we don't all get together, and it's really nice to do. And then it's also nice because we record separately, and so you see your bit, you read your bit, so it's Mummy Pig or Madame Gazelle or whatever I'm doing, and then to suddenly see it kind of put together on a big screen, it's it's really exciting. I think we all love it so much.
And also, thank you on behalf of parents everywhere, because the one, like Peppa Pig, is brilliant, but the thing that drives you mad is how short they are. So finally, to have an hour of uninterrupted Peppa Pig is just wonderful.
Before it was all worked out, but I think there's 22 hours of Peppa Pig all put together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can sit them in front of that.
Yeah. So we're fine.
Have a bit of a snooze, yeah.
For you, can you still believe that after all this time that it's still such a big part of your life?
Yes, I mean, I started when I was 5. This is, I think, my 13th year of doing it. It's just so normal for me to do.
Does it get harder? I mean, you're lucky you've still got the voice, really.
I mean, not harder, like a little bit more difficult, just because it's such a change now, because I've just completely matured from being 5, of course.
Of course.
I think you're such a skillful voice artist. I think it's like doing any of the voices. We often don't sound like the people that we're doing. So Harley can do Peppa as much as she can do.
I wish I sounded like Madame Gazelle.
Oh, Madame Gazelle. She's yes.
How does Madame Gazelle sound?
Madame Gazelle, come on, sing the Bing Bong song with me. Come on, Phil. Come on. From nowhere in particular. Madame Gazelle.
Do you get asked to do the voice a lot? Does that? I mean,
Madame Gazelle, yeah, and I think that Mummy Pig, I don't particularly sound like Mummy Pig, so you wouldn't sort of know it was me. But Richard, who's Daddy Pig, really sounds like Daddy Pig. Yeah. And it's quite, when children their parents go, that's Daddy Pig or that's Mummy Pig, kids are like, What?
Well,
What are you
it's
talking
quite
about?
disconcerting because they sort of hear the voice and then it's coming out of something
Yes.
completely different.
Yes,
So-
yeah. Well, we try and keep the magic. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of all right to do phone, you know, to leave a phone message or something like that. But yeah, a little bit disconcerting.
I did TIE at school, which is theatre and education. So we went round to loads of different schools and performed like an hour play to them. And at the end of that, people were like, do you know what? She sounds so much like Peppa Pig. And
Really?
I never have that.
Oh.
Never have that.
How funny. And you are busy at the moment because you had your GCSEs, but now your A-levels are
Yes,
next, so you're
A-levels
busy with that.
are.
Are they next year, your exams?
Yes, I think so. No, they are.
Well, we've seen it so lovely because you've been in so many times. We've seen you through all of your exams and
Yes.
schools. A levels was the last time; they went really well, and so now it's the GCSEs was the
Yep,
last time.
yeah.
Now it's the A levels.
But she's not the only Peppa in your life because you actually do have two
Yeah,
pigs.
2 pet pigs. I live on a farm, so
So you've got Peppa and,
yeah, Pepper and George.
How
And then we've got all the chickens.
I know how weird is that?
so perfect.
All the chickens, yeah. She's living the dream.
Living the dream.
Will you work? Could you just say down camera one there that it's the end of the show and I hope you've enjoyed it for us.
Hello, I hope you had a lovely show and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much. Thank you.
Thank you for
I'm
having
going to get
me.
serious mum points from my kids when I get home today, let me tell you.